front brakes and rotors on a 2016 Q50 Red Sport. First, before you jack the car up, loosen the lug nuts. Then jack the car up from the pinch weld located right there, where those two dips are. This is where you put the jack, right there. Car is up, just a little bit off the ground. That's all you need. Take the wheel off, use jack stands. Wheels off. If you're only doing pads, all you have to do, it's very easy, is take this cotter pin out right here and this one right here, and you stick a screwdriver in right here and you push this pin, the thicker pin, right there. Push that out to the other side. Take this piece off, pads pull out. But if you're doing the rotors too, there are 4 bolts. There's 4 bolts on the caliper. You do not take any of those off. You take off this one. This one right here. I don't know if I can even, hopefully it focused. This one, and then this one. So the ones that you do not take these off, these are 17s. You do take off these ones down here. They're 21 or 22. I think they're 22. Yep, 22s. Take those off. Whole caliper will come off. You also need to take this clip off right here, and then let this part dangle. The whole thing will come off and dangle. But I'm going to start right now taking this apart to get the pads out with those cotter pins. See if I can do this with the phone. I have new ones, so I don't need the old ones. So then those pins come out, so then this thing, oops. It's much easier with 2 hands. There you go. That thing flies off. I have another one. See how these go in between here and lock the pads in? Take these out. This is so easy if you're only doing pads, but I never recommend that, because if you just do your pads, you generally get a really crappy brake feel afterwards, because the pads don't mesh well. New pads don't really seat well to an old rotor, unless you have the rotor resurfaced or something. I always just do new pads and rotors. So these are just so easy with 2 hands. There you go. Comes right out. They weren't even something squeaking, so I guess it's the back. I guess the back is squeaking. But my rotors are warped. So these are coming out anyway. Yep, this is so much easier with 2 hands. So pads are out. They're pretty worn out, but they weren't bad. You can tell because the wear meter bar, this, when the pad wears down enough, then this hits the rotor and squeaks. So it must be going on in the back for mine, because these are still good. But like I said, rotors are super warped, so they're getting changed. So the next thing you do, you have to compress in the pistons right there. There's 4 pistons on these. So what you do is you take this, see, and you stick it in. And what you do is just Make sure it's only touching the metal in there, and I'm just pulling now towards me. You just pull barely, you'll feel it. You just pull and wait. Do not apply a ton of pressure. Just pull and wait, and it will go in slowly by itself until it stops. There, it stopped. I'm not pulling hard at all. Then you do the other one, same thing. See how it's now basically like even versus sticking out? Now the new pad will fit. Pull a little bit and wait. See, it's going in. And it will stop when it bottoms out. There, stopped. Do all 4 of these. With the pistons, all 4 of them are depressed in, and you can see they're flat, level. You just take your pads. It comes with some grease. Put just the tiniest bit of grease on here and spread it around. There's barely any grease that comes in this pack. I got these from Rock Auto. I put like this much. Just spread it around. I don't even know if you need this, but don't touch, don't get any grease on the pad. And then you see which way it goes in, same way as it came out, and it just slides in right there. And then you would be done if you were only changing pads, but I'm not. So next, rotors, taking those 2 22s off the back. How to get this snap clip off. Take a screwdriver, stick it in there, push it up like this, then down, like that, and then up again, and it's off. Then this thing comes out like that. You need that for when you take the whole rotor off so that it can hang down out of the way. I'm gonna take those 2 22s off, the big 22s, and that's it. Remember, no 17s, don't take those off. A tip for getting these 22s off is be really strong. So if you don't jack the car up high, then this thing won't dangle when you take it off. It touches the ground, so it doesn't stress this line very much. It might look like it, but it's not. It's really not stressed. And then I know I just said use jack stands and I don't have any, but I'm not getting under the car. Then the rotor, once you take off the caliper, it comes off usually. It's supposed to. Sometimes it gets a little stuck. I went to hit it hard from the inside out and it just came right off. So, and then I don't know what this is, but I take this thing off too, put it on the other one. As I said, I don't know what that is, but if you can see there's a spot right there. If you want to put it back the same way, see, that's the spot where that goes. Put it back the same way, why not, you know? Now, okay, it's on there. Take 2 lug nuts and use these to hold this in place. So now it's held in place while you put the caliper back on. It makes lining the bolts up in the back easier. So we're gonna put the 2 22s back in right now first to get the caliper in place. And I would like to show that, but I can't do it one-handed. So now caliper's back on. Make sure you tighten those 22s right there. Tighten those pretty tight. they hold the whole caliper on. So they're important bolts, and they're tough. They can take some torque. Next thing is once you've tightened this bolt, you need this line. I forgot to say this. You need this out of the way to get a 22-inch open end on this. And then you put this back. Again, I can't do this one-handed, but it just goes back in like that. Maybe you can. Easy, look at that. Then I got my pads. Greased up. Put this on here mostly so that they might not squeak. Hitting on something. There it goes. Then this is in. Also greased up these pins. Last thing to grease is on this piece. This piece goes in like this. Well, like that. And then these are the contact points right here and right here. And there and there. Put some grease, just a little bit on those, just in case you don't squeak. But yep, so I'm installing this now. Put this in, the pin goes through that part. It goes under these, but over this as it goes in. And I'd love to show it, but I can't do it one-handed. Okay, both my pins are in. You can see how they're installed. They just go into there. They don't go that far, but you can see it's all the way sunk in on that side. So both pins, and that's how it goes. So we're almost done, but don't forget to put these back in. There's a hole, and you take a screwdriver, and this pin turns there. So you turn both of these. This one's already right there. I can't find it. There. So now, take your pin, there it goes. Easy. Put your wheel back on. You may or may not have to bleed your brakes. Your brake pedal is going to feel different.